Okie doke everyone, here we go. We are going to, oops, wrong direction. Going to go to Pattern Focus to find today's pattern. Remember, you're at pattern-collections.com. If you're not at pattern-collections, you're going to end up at the wrong place. Scroll down to find today's pattern. The first one of the week is called Ups and Downs. Oh, and if you ever can't find the Facebook group, it's right there. There's a link. Just click on that. You'll go right to the Facebook group. There is all sorts of stuff going on over there that, you know, there's just a lot going on over there. But if you want to share your work, that would be the place to do it. If you go over to that Facebook group and tag me in your work, if you want me to see it specifically, I will get a notification. Anyway, Ups and Downs is this one. It's a very tribal looking. Might be a little busy for me, but we'll just see what happens. I might not put all those little lines in there. We'll just see. So step number 1 is a grid. I'm already a little confused. It's a grid, but it's not. See how they're not lining up? So there's a regular grid here, and then inside each square she's put a cross, but then it's not right in the middle. Like this one is kind of in the middle here, but it's way up at the top there, and then it's in the middle going this way, but it's off to one side there. So it's kind of not lining up. So that in and of itself makes it completely different than anything I've ever done. And then in these smaller ones, we're going to put like a U shape, one going one way, one going the other, like up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, around and around. And then she's got us putting another line that follows that one and filling in the middle, kind of like a rainbow sort of a shape. And then in these other rectangular boxes, the bigger ones, she's got us going whoop-de-doop-de-doop, up and down, up and down. And then filling in around that shape. But there's all sorts of different variations you can do. You can shade. You can do them in different configurations. So let's just play with this and see what happens. That seems super busy to me and my aesthetic, so I'm not sure I'm going to fill it all in like that, but let's just play with it. Some people get so afraid to play with their patterns, and they think that they have to do it exactly the way that the step out shows. The step out is just a guideline. It's just a, you know, how to. Like if you were to get a book and say how to draw faces, for example. I'm trying to decide which paper to use. I'm just use the back side of the one I did yesterday. No, it's not dry. Never mind. Use this one. No, I'm thinking rectangle. Changed my mind. If you were to buy a book that said how to draw faces, and it showed you, you know, you need to make an oval, and then you need to make this little line that goes across to show you where the eyes are supposed to go, a little line to show you where the nose is supposed to go, a little thing that shows you how the way your head is tilted. All those little gesture drawings that you'll find in those books, each one of them is going to be similar, but they're not going to be exactly the same, and your person that you draw is going to look uniquely like the person that you draw. It's not necessarily going to look like the person that they drew in the book. Same thing with the step outs. The what you draw is not necessarily going to look anything like what the sample looks like. It's just a way to get started, really. So I'm going to do a couple of big boxes. I'm going to grid this out, but I'm going to grid it out in a pretty good size scale, because since I don't really want it that busy, I'm going to make my boxes bigger so my pattern's not too tiny. Need to make it more of a half and half again, like that. Okay. Okay. That looks good. Let's start with that as my grid. But some people get all hung up on the fact that they want their artwork to look exactly like the sample. Don't get hung up on that. Your art should be you. It should be uniquely you. It shouldn't look like anybody else's, because you are a unique individual. Your hand draws in a unique way. You hold your pen different. You may hold your pen differently than I do. You may end up with different tones and values than I get, because you're unique. Don't make that seem like it's a bad thing. Embrace how you are different than someone else and make your art different. Don't be like everyone else. Don't have to. Okay, so then inside here we're going to do some of these squares with slightly off. I want to make it more. Okay, so I've randomly put those cross pieces in different heights. And now I'll just do it in pen. Remember to sit in a more comfortable manner. The more comfortable you are when you're drawing, the more comfortable and better your drawings will be. If you are hunched over, or your back hurts, or your arms hurt, you will be less likely to draw a nice, confident line. Doesn't mean that your lines have to be perfectly straight. If you actually looked at these lines up close and personal, you would see that they are not straight. Take a good look at those. Give it a moment and take a good look at those lines. Look at this one, because everybody says, "Oh, Dawn, your drawings are so perfect. How do you draw so perfect?" Look at this line. It goes whoop-de-doop-de-doop-de-doop. It is not straight. Now these ones were fairly straight, and that one was fairly straight. This one doesn't quite hit the edge here, and it's got a little bit of a whoop to it right there. Look at this nice whoop right in there. That line is not anywhere near straight. It goes down, it goes kind of upwards, and then it goes down, and it goes up again, and it goes down again. Okay, but if you stand back and look at it, everybody's going to say, "Oh, you draw such straight lines." No, I don't. It's okay. The reason you see it as being straight lines is because once I'm done with my art altogether. I have embraced everything I do, and I've added the patterns and added the texture and the shadows and the shading and the color. And once I'm done all of that, the wiggly woggly lines are less noticeable. They really are. Okay, so now in the smaller parts of these boxes, I want to do an arch that goes one way and an arch that goes the other. Like that. And I don't think it makes any difference which way you go. We're just going up and down. Like that. Okay. And then it shows you making them with all those the rainbow like thing, but I'm not sure I want to do that just yet. So I'm going to not do that step. I'm going to do the next one with the ups and down squiggly bits in these bigger ones, which need to go this way because they're like this. So I'm just drawn away. I may not even be following the pattern properly. There's a possibility that I'm not. Oh, it kind of looks like that. Now for me that's super busy, and I'm not sure I care for it. However, I can then use these shapes and decide where I want the black and white graphic quality and fill in the darks. Or if I want some mid-tone to it. In order to make mid-tone, I would just do like hashing or lines. So I'm going to stop here and just kind of look at it and decide where I want which graphic element. I really don't like, for me, for today, I am not feeling the rainbowy shape thing. I'm going to take off my watch. My watch is all sweaty and I don't like that. So I'm going to just take it off. Ugh, that feels better. Okay, so I'm feeling like I want to do some diagonal lines in some of these shapes, but not all of them. here. And I'm going to turn it so that my diagonal is going a different direction. And do it in a different shape. And then maybe one down here. Like that. So that gives it some gray area. And then maybe I want I'm gonna do some, well, it would, if my pen would make it mark, that would help. I'm gonna do some stippling. Just some dots. That's also going to give me a gray area, but a lighter gray than the stripes. My eye is not going to see polka dots. My eye is going to see, oh, that's gray. Oh, that's not where I wanted to go with that. It is now. Okay. And maybe, now that I've done one, I'll have to do at least one more of these U shapes with that same texture. Okay. I think I want one more medium value texture. Perhaps in some of these I'm going to fill with little circles. And you see how that one now is darker than that one even. But it's still not solid. So my eye is still reading it as a gray. It's just a dark gray. It's not a black. I'm going to do that in several other shapes. That, and maybe one more, at least three. I think in this one. Look up, turn it around a few times. I think I want it here too. Like that. Okay. And then I'm going to put the name. Sign it. Ups and downs. It's very mid-century, modern, 1960s, 1950s, mod kind of a design. I'm feeling like I want a little bit of color in there. Not a huge amount, a little something. I think I'm going to find my markers. I think I want to go with orange and avocado green. Let's start with those two. So while I'm coloring, I should do a thing. Talk about goosebumps. What about goosebumps? It's a strange prompt now, isn't it? Are they talking about like when you're cold goosebumps or when you're scared goosebumps? So those are two different topics. I don't have much to say about goosebumps. Sorry. That was not a good card. I'm really not quite sure what to talk about. What's driving me to make my decisions as to where I'm putting color is just instinct. I may or may not be doing it in a good place, but it's just where I feel like I want this color. You know, sometimes you just have to go with your intuition and your gut, and you know, it is what it is. If it's good, it's good. If it's not good, oh well. You know what? It's just paper. If you don't like it, it's just paper, people. Don't stress over it. People get so stressed out because they've ruined their art. You know what? It's just a piece of paper. You haven't really ruined anything. I see that on my other art groups that I'm involved in, especially the painting ones. I completely ruined it. I burned my canvas. It was so bad. It's like, really? Stop being a drama queen. Really. Nothing is ever so bad that it can't be fixed. And certainly don't waste your canvas. Canvases can be expensive. You can paint over that dang thing. Don't burn it. Don't throw it away. Don't slash it. Just because it doesn't come out the way you expect. It's a learning process. If the result was not what you expected, you need to look at a few things as to why it was not what you expected. Is your art material working against you? Did you make a poor choice in design or color. If you're following a tutorial and you actually followed it, maybe that's not the problem. It's not design, it's not color. Maybe it's your materials. Maybe your canvas was not prepared properly, and so it didn't take the paint well. That doesn't mean that you have to completely cannibalize your work. It just means that you need to start back over, sand down your canvas, put a coat of gesso on top, sand it down again, prepare your surface properly so that it can take your paint. I have had canvases that just don't work well right out of the package. And so I've learned that for me, when I purchase the cheap canvases, because that's what I'm going to purchase, because I'm not, I'm not trying to paint something that I will probably ever sell. I may give it away as a gift, but I'm probably never going to sell it. And so it doesn't have to be quality that's going to last forever. So I get the cheap canvases at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or wherever. I don't buy the expensive Frederick's canvases from Dick Blick. I buy the Artists Loft cheapy stuff, the stuff that goes on 70% off. But I found that it has some sort of coating on it, and it doesn't always take paint well. So I've learned to just wash the darn thing off. Something's not right here. What the heck? What did I just do? Oh, there's my lid. Okay. It needs something else, but I'm not sure what. It needs some bright yellow. Yeah? Some bright yellow? It needs a pop of something brighter, but I don't know which of these yellows. I have 3 yellows in this set. There's 3 yellows and no purple. I don't like this set. I didn't think about it that much when I bought it. I bought it because it was cheap. It was on sale. But, really, you have 3 yellows and no purple. What kind of marker set is that? Just trying to decide which of these yellows I want to use. They all look almost the same. Look at that. I have 3 yellows. They look almost the same and no purple. I think I'm going to go with this muted one. But anyway, I mean, think about when something doesn't, you don't have the result that you expect. Sometimes it's the teacher, or sometimes you're not listening. I've done that too, where it's like, oh, I did not do what she said to do. I totally went my own way. And then my result wasn't the same as hers. Doesn't mean I didn't like my result, but I need to know that my result was not the same as hers because I didn't follow the instructions. Some people think they're following instructions and they're not. And then they get upset when their thing doesn't look exactly the way that the teacher did. They didn't follow instructions. Really? I've seen that, especially when I'm like at a paint and sip. These people are, chit-chatting, they're on their phones, they're talking with their friends, which is what paint and sips are all about. But then, then they get irritated when their result doesn't come out the same. It's like, well, you spent all your time yammering instead of listening to the teacher. She's not going to come back and do it again just for you. All right, I think that's... I need one more right in here. Like that. I think I'm done. I'm calling this one done. It's weird. But you know what? I knew that I was going to find it a little too busy anyway. So I found a way to make it a little bit less busy. It's still busy. It's a busy piece. But yeah, I embraced the 70s in this piece. It's not so bad. It's just, yeah, it's different than the sample, and that's the way it should be. Your art should always be uniquely yours. All right, you guys have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. I've got things to do, and yeah, you have a great day. Do something nice for someone today, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.